Hey guys, here's a quick tutorial video for the makeup assignment for Monday and Tuesday, April 6th and 7th. The first thing, or things that you will need, first and foremost, you will need a computer or an electronic device of some kind where you can view each of the videos that's posted on our Edsby link. Then you're choosing one of them. You are not doing this for all of them, you're just choosing one. For that one video that you choose, you want to re-watch it or watch it and pause it, so that you can follow along with it and practice doing that makeup technique. And I'm not going to ask you to put any actual makeup on your face. What I'm asking you to do is use a template like this. As you can see, I simply traced one off of a computer screen because my computer was giving me a hard time about printing stuff, and that is perfectly acceptable. Or if you can get it to print, awesome. But yeah, you'll need that. You'll need your computer or device where you can watch the video, and you will need a colored pencil set. You could also do this with crayon. Colored pencil is going to be a little bit easier and a little bit more definitive. As you see, I have stolen my daughter's. I will give it back. So yeah, here we go. So I'm just going to start off by watching part of the video. And that's the intro. I don't care about that. Okay, here she is. All right, so she kind of walks us through it, gives us a quick heads up and a quick introduction as to what she's doing. Then she shows the application. So the first step that she gives us is that she puts a general color that's close to her skin color or similar to whatever. Anyway, that goes over her whole face, right? All over with a brush, she said. And then she adds powder to make it a little bit less liney. Okay, so I'm going to pause there. And I'm going to practice what she's doing on this piece of paper. So I'm going to choose a random color that is maybe somewhat close to my skin color. If I can find one, that's okay. So just find something that'll work, you know, that's close enough. And then of course that first step, right, is to get the whole face covered. Wow, that's really yellow. Oh well, I guess I'm yellow today. To go ahead and color the entire face in that color. All right, that's a pretty straightforward step. So I'm just going to focus on getting a couple, for this video, on getting a couple of the areas that I'm going to be adding more color to, so that you can kind of see the layered effect with the colored pencils. And but I'm not going to be doing the whole face. When you do it, you should do the whole face. So one of the things that you're going to run into working with colored pencils is that in the same way that she ended up with streaks and lines on her face using that brush, with a colored pencil, notice how there are lines here. One way to kind of get those lines out, you want to go very lightly again because this is that base color. But the other thing that you can do to try to get the lines out is kind of come back through and go the opposite way. So whatever direction I was coloring first, I'm going to come back and go the opposite direction. It'll fill in some of those gaps and holes, and it'll eliminate some of that liney look, and create for a more, or make for a more even surface to work with. Okay? Cross thatching, or whatever you want to call it. So that's the idea. I've got most of a cheek covered. Almost, sorry. I don't want to take too long on this, but I also need to have something in place so that we can move on to the next step. I'm going a little too thick. Again, you want to make this very, very light. For this first layer, you're probably going to have to sharpen that pencil a couple times during it so that you can get a good light coverage. All right, so that's my step one. Then I'm going to go back to the video once I'm done with that step and see what my step two is. She's still covering.
Okay, so now I'm just going to go in, color in an angle brush. I like to go in underneath the lash, them a little bit more arched and a little more exaggerated, just because this is theatrical makeup that we're doing.
Okay, so she's saying that she's coloring her eyebrows and making them a little bit more arched, changing the shape slightly. All right, so I'm going to take whatever color I want to use for the eyebrows. I'm going with a dark brown, and I'm going to color those eyebrows in. Now, if I'm trying to make them for this, notice I'm not doing the scratchy type thing that I was doing before. I am using single strokes all in one direction to create, hopefully, a little bit of that hair-like effect, right? Like little hairs, like little eyebrow hairs. Short, quick spurts. Bring it through. And this is similar to what I would do with a makeup pencil. Yeah, there we go, makeup pencil. as well. I'm gonna try to change the shape slightly by coloring it in, right? She talked about arching that eyebrow, so I'm gonna add a bit of an arched curve, really exaggerated apparently, arched curve up here, to change that shape slightly so I can practice doing that, even though I only have like a slight outline. And I'm gonna make hers a little bit bushier and add just a little edge there along the sides. Okay, so again, I would do this for both. I'm only doing it for one because this is an example video. But if I were doing this in reality, what you should do is do both, all right? Then I'll look for my next step. Our next step is an eyeliner under eye technique, I believe, but let's take a look.
Doing. So I like to start at the ends and then work it into the front to keep them looking relatively natural. Being a natural theatrical makeup, that's a good place to stop, or you can bring it in further like I'm doing right now.
Okay, so for this next step, she's going along the crease above the eye and under the eye, all right? So if that's what I'm trying to do, then I'm gonna go ahead and try that step. For this one, I'm gonna do it on my open eye because I have an open eye and a closed eye, and it's gonna be more apparent on the open eye. So I'm gonna look back at that line because I don't remember what it looked like. It looks like it is thicker and straight under this portion of the eye. So I'm gonna go thicker and straight here. And then it is a pretty thick line all the way around underneath. So I'm gonna keep that line nice and thick, coming around underneath the eye to out here. As it scoop around, it scoops all the way around to the underneath. And guys, when you hear my voice changing and stuff, what I'm doing is I'm literally looking back and forth between the video and the image in the video and what I've got here on the paper in front of me, and just trying to do my best to imitate what she's doing. All right, that's all I did. I don't know makeup. I'm just learning from her, right? So there's that. Then the next thing that she did was she came in and exaggerated her crease. Now the crease in the eye is not gonna be very apparent. It's gonna be a little bit harder to identify, so that might be easier to draw on this side, adding in the crease here over where it would be right between that upper eyebrow and that lower eyebrow. Or eyelid, I'm sorry. You could add it here as well. It's just gonna be a little bit less pronounced, and so I might come in right above the open eye there to draw in that crease, and that one's pretty thin from what she did. Okay, next step.
Place to stop, or you can bring it in further like I'm doing right now. With that same charcoaly brown, you're gonna go in and cut the crease. I tend to like to use the same brushes.
So that's cutting the crease. That's the piece that I just tried to do.
So cutting the crease and actually bringing up the edge and pulling it out to make my eye have more of a cat eye shape.
Oh, see, I didn't do that very well, so I'm gonna go back and fix that really quickly.
If you do too much of this, your
I'm gonna
eyes
pull
get
it
too
out.
small. My eyes are
Do I have
too
enough
big, I'm
chair
not too
here?
worried about it.
And create more of that
Now,
cat eye shape.
And a warmer, lighter brown. I'm just going in and exaggerating the crease a little more. You do too much of this.
Okay, so she just said that you need a lighter brown to exaggerate the crease a little bit more, so I'm gonna go in and grab a lighter brown. You might be able to, especially if you're a little bit more accomplished with makeup, you might be able to just let her roll and do this real time and not pause the video. I have to pause because I am not that quick.
Of course, for this tutorial, I'm going in with extra exaggerated colors to really show you the effects.
All right, so there's a lighter brown, warmer brown right up
Go
there.
in with that charcoaly brown we use for the brows and just deepen up the corner of the eye.
Okay.
Just a smidge.
So she was just saying that she's going in with
Next, I'm using a matte
that
eye
charcoaly brown and deepening the corner.
and also on my brow bone.
I don't know if you can see her and me at the same time. Let me see if we can do that. I'm gonna pause her again because she's moving head too fast. Okay, so this, she kind of smoothed this out a little bit and added a little bit more there, and there's kind of a red, and there's a bit of red to that, so I'm gonna see if I can find a reddish color, a reddish brown to add in some of that deeper reddishness along this. Yeah, there we go, that's a little better. All right, and then she talked about also adding some of this charcoaly brown, there we go, to deepen that out a little bit. So we've got layers of colors, right? Creating that cat eye. And then the next thing that she does, and this is probably about where I'm gonna end the video, guys, but I'll try to hit this up real quick first, and that is highlighting. Now, highlighting with colored pencil is gonna be difficult, but you can use white, or you can use a very light yellow, I would think. And the idea here is the highlight, if you're looking at the way the light hits a face, right? Anything that is sunken in or further back or like deeper is going to be darker on your face, and anything that is like more puffed out and prominent is going, oh, you can't see that, I'm sorry, is going to be lighter on your face. And so that's when she talks about, and when they talk about contouring and highlighting, the contouring is that looking at like the deeper, like the hollows of your cheeks and the temples and all those spots in your face that are a little bit more sunken in, making them darker so that they're more pronounced. And then looking at all the spots of your face, like the bridge of the nose and the tops of the cheekbones and stuff, that like when the light is hitting you from above, that's the stuff that sticks out because that's what the light is actually hitting. That's the bright stuff. You've got the bright stuff and the shadow stuff, right? So the bright stuff she's gonna should go right above. Typically, if the light's coming down on you, right, the top part is gonna be bright and highlighted, and the bottom under that, or the part under that, will be the part in shadow. So to come in with highlight, you see what she does with it. She comes in right above that darker color, and so I would do the same thing. I would take my white colored pencil or my light yellow colored pencil, and I would just add, it doesn't look like it's doing anything. I'm sorry, colored pencils are not the same as makeup, but we can try. Or you could use a light yellow and try to add in that highlight there. Yeah, the light yellow just doesn't look right. Oh well. Anyway, but that's the idea. So pay attention, especially if you're doing the contouring video, to those areas of light and dark. But that's about it. I mean, I obviously chose to practice the one for contouring. You can choose any of them to practice with, all right? If you wanted to do the scars and cuts video, if you wanted to do the old age video, whichever one you choose to do, you're just doing one, and you're just gonna take a face template and go step by step with the makeup artist in the video and follow along with what they're doing to create on paper a translation of that makeup design, all right? It's not gonna be perfect because you're not using a face and you're not using makeup substances, so there are gonna be some things they talk about doing that you cannot do, or maybe they have some steps, like when she talks about like working with the scar wax in your hands for the cuts video. Obviously we're not using clay, so you're not gonna have to work a substance in your hands for this, but whatever you can do to get the approximate equivalent using the colored pencils, that's what we're trying to do, okay? And then you're actually gonna submit your drawing, your template, your coloring when you're done. All right, any questions? Message me on Edsby, or you can use the Google Voice number. Thanks guys, bye-bye.